Made our way down here to the point. This comes in. You can see down there, it's kind of a pinch around the corner. Right over there, around that green stuff, there's about 4 trees that just walked to death. There's some tracks in here, honestly, not what I was expecting, but I do think we could see a deer in here, but I'm gonna be honest, it's fixing to be 100% rain for the next 2 days, and it's awful windy. I'm probably gonna slip on up this drainage a ways, see what else we can see, because I do think this is a crossing. There ain't no doubt it's a good pinch down here, but I don't think it's the spot, even though that looked pretty good. What's going on, guys? It is Sunday, November 3rd, about 8 o'clock in the morning, I think, something like that. Pulling back up into camp, just went and got some breakfast. It has been just absolutely downpouring, as you can see. You also might be able to see that deer running right there. Let's see. There she is. So anyhow, the plan is the rain is supposed to break from about 10 until dark. So Sam and Brock are heading back from breakfast now. We're gonna get our stuff together and try to be in the stand by about 10:30. Get set up and hunt for the rest of the day. It's gonna be high winds, but it's been raining all night long, so this afternoon should be good, and then it's gonna rain all day tomorrow, so we know we're not gonna be able to get in the stand tomorrow. So anyways, we're gonna kind of play it by ear, but we're heading up here, get a shower, get changed, pack our stuff, go find a tree to climb, see how it goes. What's going on, guys? So got Sam over here. This is different. So today is on your own outdoors +1, and the +1 is Sam, not Eric. So
+1, I like that.
That's right, the +1 over there. I should have got him a shirt that said +1 on it. Yeah. But anyways, we're going back into this spot I scouted yesterday. Had all that buck sign. Basically locked up in between 2 bedding areas. These deer are super callable. We've got the horns, the grunt call, and the plan is this rain broke. It's gonna break all afternoon. And plan is to get in here, start banging some horns together, see what buck we can get come down, because I'm pretty confident we can get something. But anyhow, we got about a 1.4 mile walk. It's gonna get real muddy down here in a little while, so anyhow, we'll see you guys from a tree. So we ended up getting to the tree that I want to climb, and I looked over about 150 yards and seen a buck moving through the timber. We dropped down on the ground and told Sam I was going to show him something special. I started rattling and grunting, ended up rattling in about 5 bucks, all within 30 yards. Sam and I's up in here. We got in here about gray light because the water came up. I didn't want to risk getting wet. Eric done smashed. What? It's time to make something happen. We're supposed to start banging some horns as soon as Sam gets ready. Let's get it up. It's 7:26 in the morning. Did an all-day sit yesterday. I think we ended up seeing like, I don't know, probably 7 or 8. One big deer and then one little basket rack and a bunch of doe. Or a bunch of spikes, I'm sorry, not doe. So anyways, we got back in here this morning. Been rattling. I've not seen anything. I think we heard one walk by earlier. But getting a little frustrated over here. The first time we came in here, we seen 17. There were a bunch of doe in here. Now we're not seeing any doe, which means we aren't seeing any good bucks. So we'll probably go ahead and hang at least half a day today. I don't know, depending on what we see by noon, will dictate what I'm going to do this afternoon. But it's Wednesday. We've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 4 more solid days of hunting. So, I don't know. Eric smashed this one yesterday afternoon. Freaking stud. Big O should have been an 8-point. Broke off. Matt missed a giant this morning. I don't know. It's slow. I don't like it. We all know the way that I pick trees. I don't see a bunch of deer. But I like to see some. All right, so it's the 6th. As you can see, we're back at the truck now. The game plan was we had 2 different spots that I found on the map while I was sitting in the stand not seeing any deer. So I think that there's gonna be 2 options. Either try to get way away from people and a place that they can't use a boat, because you also can't use an e-bike on this side. Or try to find overlooked places. So I found this little triangle in here that butts up against some private ground. And it's a pretty good walk, but it's a thin strip. And so we got down here, and this is something I always do, is like check for truck tracks. And if we look, it's the same truck, and it looks like they have parked here twice. Once before the rain and once after the rain. And those tracks aren't today. So maybe it was a weekend warrior that came in. Probably a local, considering this kind of small block. I would assume it's probably a local. Oh, you got no one in pinks? And so anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit this little walk path thing, is what I'm gonna call it. And we're gonna walk it down probably about 3/4 mile. And there's a pinch back here in between a CRP field, a river, and a slough. And I would just assume that big buck is gonna be bedding in that slough. So anyways, that's the game plan. I should probably take my bow.
I was just gonna ask you if you're gonna do that.
Nah, we're just scouting. Anyways, we're gonna see what we can find. So we made like a 4-mile loop and come back down here. We actually walked over to that point from a different road. And there was more sign in there than we've seen anywhere else. So we come down and we're glassing now. As soon as we got here, a buck ran a doe out on the levee about 40 yards from where we were talking about setting up tomorrow. And then just a few minutes after that, another buck popped up on the levee. So we may be on to something. Well, guys, this is just a reminder from the Bad News Bears. That deer that I missed the other day, I know Sam didn't get it on camera, but was the highest scoring deer I would have ever shot at. 150s, 160s, somewhere in there. Every time I go somewhere, the first thing that I always do is shoot my bow. And on this trip, I was in a rush. It was gonna rain. I didn't do it. I thought I just misjudged the yardage. And I was sitting here today, and you know, it's 4 days later. Luckily, I haven't had another opportunity at a buck that I wanted to shoot. And anyways, was sitting here and I was like, man, I need to shoot that bow just to make sure I come out here and shot. And I'm a foot low at 40, meaning, and at 50, I'm no, about 14 inches low. So anyhow, long story short, I judged that deer just right. I just didn't check my equipment. It's 3:20, November 7th. I killed my Kansas deer November 7th, 2 years ago, and we're back in Kansas. We came and glassed this spot yesterday, me and my buddy Sam down there, and we saw 2, potentially 3 really good bucks. And so anyways, we decided to come in here. One of them, I was like, dude, I know I saw a giant, but it was gone. We came in here and come to find out there's actually a run in between this river and a levee, and they're running the hell out of it. So it's a high possibility I did see a giant yesterday. But anyhow, on our way in, we actually jumped in a buck and a doe, and now they're bedded out here probably 100 yards from us out in some CRP. But we're in this little corner pocket hugged up against the river in between basically 2 CRP fields. I mean, guys, if you could see the sign that's in here, the amount of tracks, like bucks are chasing, they're booker and does, and the amount of doe sign in here is just absolutely insane. I think yesterday afternoon, the last hour, just on this levee that we could see, we ended up seeing like 7 or 8. So we're gonna hang in here, hang tight. We've got a really big crossing over here to our north. Our wind is perfect for this situation. If a buck is trying to win this riverbed, he's gonna come right here and tap me. So we're not very high. I don't know. I'm probably 20 foot, and I don't know. He's probably 16 foot, but it's all we could get in here. If we get anything else, we won't have any shots. So it's 40 yards over here to my levee, and then it's about probably 35 to their big trail over here. That's to my over to my east, and then to the west. They've got a couple more trails. I don't know if I'll be able to shoot them. We'll just have to see where they cross. But we're hanging, and I don't think we're hanging in open. What? Like whenever I missed, I accidentally hit the punch. I accidentally punched the trigger, so I was trying to see his eye guards. They're tall. I saw his eye guard, and I was like, oh shit. And so then I was trying to get around the daggum tree, and I hit the trigger, and I was like, oh. He was like 18 yards or something stupid. So then he gets out there, he's 36. And whenever I went to punch, he stepped. So we ended up calling a dog tracker and had about 6 different guys. We trailed the deer for about 700 yards and lost him. Good blood turned into almost no blood. So we kept hunting, obviously, and then over the next couple of days, went in and grid searched the whole area with no luck. Alright, it's super bad windy. I know you probably can't hear me. But we're in here, we're set up. It's right about 3 o'clock. We're a little late, but these deer haven't been moving until about 4:30 and 5. We have got an absolute beautiful setup. We've got a bench back in here behind us. There's some timber. And then we've got 2 oxbows out in front of us. There's 2 gaps in between those oxbows. One of them's right here on my right, and one of them's right here over my shoulder. You've got a stretch of timber. It's just old broken timber that's running up from a big block on that side to a big block on this side. Just sporadic trees. And this place is absolutely ate up with bucks hunt. If we don't kill anything in here today, I think tomorrow being in here and calling is going to be stupid. I'd love to know how many deer was bedding out there, but anyways, Sam's up there getting set up, and we're gonna see if we can make something happen, boys. Let's get it. Look, guys, sometimes it just seems like it's not meant to be. So number one, we got set up, and we are, I don't know, 30 yards from private. Turns out these guys are duck hunters, got daylight to see, and they've got their trucks parked about 30 yards from us. Not their fault. I just didn't know that they would be hunting in there, so we're getting ready to pack out from that. And then yesterday, I paid a dog tracker 300 bones to come track the deer I shot a day and a half ago. And anyways, he came out yesterday. His dog was being a little spunky. She didn't really want to lock in. And he had another track he was supposed to go to. Wild. Anyways, so he said that he was gonna have to leave. He'd come back midday today, and he just texted and said that he was sick, so wasted that 300 bucks. But we did last night, the way that deer's going. It was going back to some really tall sage stuff. It's a big bedding area, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna carry the bows in, slip back there, and see if, I don't know, if we can trip over him. It's frustrating, man. It's not that we haven't been in deer, we have. It's just, I think every wild, doesn't normally happen thing has happened. Y'all know me though, the grind continues. So the tracker couldn't make it, so Sam and I are out here. I've got the bow. Again, we're on the edge of the CRP, so duck hunters are out here smashing. Sam's kind of walking up through the bedding area. There's a bedding area over here that the steer was most certainly looking back towards. So he's over there kind of working through there, and I'm just working through the edge of this open timber where we had last blood, and the dog never really picked up on after that. But I do know from scouting in here the other day there was a scrape line in here, so we're just going to kind of work this edge, see if we can come up on anything. Sunday, November 10th, 6:50 in the morning. We're riding solo this morning.
XOP guys had to go home earlier in the week, and Sam had to go home this morning, so we're back in here where we hunted yesterday afternoon. We actually zeroed, but there is a lot of sign in here. Whooped out trails. I think the only issue is that we blew this area out yesterday morning and the night before over here to my west, looking for that deer that I shot. There's a bedding area over here that's probably about 25 acres, and I mean bed, just everywhere. Anyhow, we grid searched that thing, but when we got out yesterday afternoon, got to the truck, there was a fella sitting there. So anyways, I went over to talk to him, and it turns out he was in here hunting yesterday too. He actually hunted about 250 yards from me here, and he hunted about 50 yards from where I shot that deer, and he saw the other big deer, the one that we glassed the other night. So it still gives me hope.
What's going on, guys? So it's Sunday, about 12 o'clock noon, and I go home tomorrow. I'm gonna hunt till about 10:30 in the morning, but nothing else is really working, so we're taking it back to where it all started in 2022 on my first Kansas trip. If you hadn't seen that video, you should go watch it because it's a good one. But anyways, kind of bounced around, went to a lot of different spots, looked at a bunch of different stuff, and I come out of the stand this morning. I was on a big deer over there. There's another guy that is also hunting in there, and honestly, he is set up better to kill that deer than I am, so I went ahead and pulled my stuff. And yeah, I sat around for a couple hours trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, and I'm gonna go in here and enjoy myself. I know this is a beautiful place to sit. Usually I don't see a whole bunch of deer in here, but I'm gonna go in there, tickle some horns together, and hope that one of those big deer are up looking for his next doe. Let's see how this goes, guys.
Well, as y'all could just see, when I came in here, I was going back to the spot that I hunted before. The sign pulled me off of it. I started looking at a map, and in here where I'm at now, back in 2022, I actually dropped a pin, and it was a spot I wanted to come check out, and I never did. So anyways, I took a hard right. I came back in here, heading back to the east, and there was a bunch of scrapes that were real fresh. I'm talking about real fresh to the point that I was like, man, these might be fake. Like somebody made them because they looked they were just done. And there's a lot of pressure in this area. Anyways, I kept going, and I get up on top of this knoll. I actually found a shed, and then I was like, man, I ought to hunt right here. Well, I looked over, and there's a real pretty flat out in front of me, and I was like, I'll go go check that flat out. So anyways, I start down this hill, I get down to the flat, and I keep looking back at this knoll. It's like a little saddle right here. You got a drainage that comes up to it, and I was like, man, just looks really good. And about that time, just a freaking mega giant. When I say mega giant, I would shoot his kid's kid. That's how big this deer was.
Well, guys, it is November 11th, about 5:25 in the morning. The last hunt in Kansas for this trip. Well, guys, as you can see, it's all about finding the right tree. So the bad thing is all that footage you just seen of those bucks is under the original tree that I hung my stand on yesterday, and then looked up here, seen that big deer cruising, and I moved up the ridge. Sometimes you make the right call, sometimes you make the wrong one. Even whenever I climbed up in this tree this morning, I was sitting here looking around, and I was like, I ought to be down there in between those two big fingers. And I was not. So anyways, it is Veterans Day, so happy Veterans Day. It's about 20 minutes till 10, so I'll probably go ahead and ride it out till 10, and then we're gonna tear down, hook up the trailer, head south. Hey boys, that's a wrap, and I'm going home until next week, and then I'm coming back. Round 2, fight. What's going on, guys? Today is November 17th, and I am about, 80% of the way to Kansas, coming through Missouri now. So as y'all have seen so far in this trip, the first trip to Kansas, though it was a good one, could have been a lot better. So went back, regrouped, went back to work for a week. My brother is actually coming up here with me. He's gonna hunt the Missouri side. So anyways, y'all hang out. We're almost there. We're gonna hit the ground running. Probably won't have time to scout tonight. We'll probably scout tomorrow morning, and then we got 7 more days. See if we can find a giant. Get it, girl.
Trying, man.
Changed things up a little bit this morning, guys. Slept in. I don't know if it was a good idea. The wind was hanking last night. Well, I'm talking about running about 35, 40 mile an hour, and it broke at daylight. But I didn't want to make the same mistake as last time, so I sat out here for about 20 minutes, shot my bow, 0 to 60. She is good to go. So it's about, almost 9 o'clock, I think. So we're fixing to pack up, ease on out to the tree. Well, I made it back in here to where I wanted to be. But if I'm being honest, I feel like I'm hanging and hoping. I did jump 3 deer. That's one thing that concerns me. Going through this little ridge system I was coming through to get back in here.
one mid 130s 10 point, and then it looked like a small buck and a doe, but I don't know. I mean, it's everything that I thought it would be back in here. It's just, day isn't the sign I thought there would be. I don't know. Probably make me a little lap up here on top of this ridge and see if I can figure out where they're working it. Because they've got to be using it. It's just I don't know where at. I have a buck right here. Straight up 12 o'clock on November 19th. And this might be my least favorite interview that I've ever done. I messed up in this spot right before I went home. And then I turned around and messed up in this spot again today. So, when I came in here the other day, as y'all seen on film, I came in, I picked a tree based off of a map. I got down to the tree, I saw a big deer up on a ridge, and I bailed out on my tree, and I went up the ridge that afternoon, and the next morning, I saw that same big deer down in the bottom, within 15 yards of that tree. So fast forward, I told myself I'm coming in here and I'm going to that tree. Every buck that I saw the other day, 2 weeks ago, went past that tree. I get to notice there's two big giant rubs that was not in here a week ago. I'm talking about big boys, big around as your thigh. And I'm like, okay, my big deer's still in here. I got excited about it. I started looking for a tree instead of coming right over here by where I hunted, or where I should have hunted last time. I turned and I went the opposite direction. I walked about, it looks like about 60 yards over there. And I was at the base of a tree, and I turned around and looked, and 9 point was again walking right past the tree from last week. So I hit some horns together. The problem is I was in a wide open bottom here. It's not wide open, but eye level it is. I hit some horns together, and he turned and he run up to what was about 42 yards. And yeah, what was what it was. I got to pull back and dunk. My quick release. And I noticed that today whenever I was shooting, my quick releases done got rusty inside from staying outside all night. And I'm an idiot. I have an extra. I carry it. If you notice, I always have a red one. That one's black. I always carry an extra. And for whatever reason, I did not put my extra one on. And so, I don't know, man. It's like amateur hour over here. That's like the 4th, 5th big deer in Kansas this year that should have been taking a ride back to Arkansas. Oh my God. Yes, sir. I just smoked a freaking giant. Oh my God. Go down right there. He's down right there. Freaking giant!
Tell me about it.
I don't know how big he is, Eric. 150, 160. He's dead. He's laying 100 yards from me.
You got him on film?
I have no idea. He came in to my left. I mean, yes, he's on film. I just don't know how good it is because he came in. So I'm sitting this big draw, and I looked up, and I had two does cross me down there where I was, you know, whatever. But anyways, Eric, he's big. Hey,
Yes, sir.
hey, he's that big, tight rack chocolate and 10 point son.
Good.
But I looked down and I was like, what is that? You know, I had two does come through. And then I looked back up and I could tell by the body it was a big deer. And I turned my camera on. I was like, guys, there's a big deer over here. And so I messed around and I grabbed that damn grunt tube and I grunted a few times, nothing. I tickled them horns together and he started trotting. I was like, oh, well then he got to looking back at his does. So I started hitting that grunt call and here he come. He's come up his bottom. And I thought I was gonna have to shoot him, Eric, at like 60 or 70. Homie, this dude came up and I shot him at 35 yards, 1/4 in my sweet spot where I likes to shoot him.
He ain't go nowhere, did he?
He run over about 100 yards. I'm being quiet because he run up there and there's a bed over there. There is a buck bed where he's at, but he stumbled down the hill and I never seen him move. He's a good one.
Oh, he's toast.
He's
Hell yeah.
He's a good one, Eric. He's a good one, cuz. He a good one, cuz.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
He's worth coming to Kansas for. Yeah, I actually just texted Eric and told him that I put on the new Out on Your Own Outdoors hoodie and I felt like I was wearing an Iron Man suit. So the plan is, I know where the deer went down. We're just gonna ease real easy over here to where I shot him. Look at the blood. Oh, I shot him about 45 minutes ago. I don't really want to go over. I don't really want to go over and mess with him yet. Let's see. There's so many logs right up in here knowing exactly which one he was standing by. It's gonna be a problem. When I shot, he turned, boy, he broke out here like crazy. But I watched him go up on a hill, and he was teeter-totting and rolled backwards.
All right, guys, we're about, I'd say, maybe 10 yards after where I shot him. And that dude, I mean, there's a lot of blood there. And that is with that dude just straight getting it, son. He was not hanging around. I got a little nervous. I looked over where I thought I seen him go down. And I was like, I can't find him. But I found him. That's good. Ready to shot the government, baby. That is the third one. Put that same shot on. Oh my goodness, what a stud. What's going on, guys? Clifton Denny with On Your Own Outdoors. So as y'all have seen in this video, it's been a wild ride. We came up last week doing a collaboration hunt, and just, I don't know, carrying a cameraman makes everything a little bit different, guys, because you can't be as mobile. And so anyways, is what it is. Came back, BJ and I got here on Sunday. Today is Tuesday. We got here Sunday, kind of rode around, decided to see where people were. Yesterday it rained all day. I came in here today, messed up on probably a 140-inch 9-point, and I actually texted my buddy and was like, man, like, everything happens for a reason. BJ and I was talking about yesterday. I said, you know what I don't have? I don't have a big chocolate horn, ivory tip 10-point. And anyways, we came in this evening, or about, I guess I got in here about 11 o'clock this morning. I saw two does move through here about 30 minutes before this deer came in, and I looked over, seen him, and you see the footage. I give a little rattle sequence. He came over, finished him off with that buck roar, and potentially my biggest deer ever. If he breaks 160, he'll be my biggest. So anyways, guys, that's a wrap for Kansas. BJ saw some bucks. He's behind the camera today. I appreciate it. Love my brother. He finally got to come on one of these trips with me, and maybe for my personal best, which is awesome. But anyways, we're going to go to Missouri tomorrow and see what we can do over there. So anyways, guys, good hunting. Till next time, we'll see you from a tree.